Well, hello, John O'Flaherty, the B3 burner, and stand by for excitement. Stand by for Superbright LED taillights, turn signal lights, and front amber dim lights. A comparison coming right up. And as I say, the name of this company is SuperbrightLEDs.com. This is a company out of Missouri, just out of St. Louis. And I just received this package today. And I'm going to show you the contents in a second. What do we have in here? What do we have on the ticket? Two 1157 LED bulbs that are red. 2-pack, and then one 2-pack of amber bulbs. So 1157s are double filaments, and they'll be amber for the front because the front lenses are white. So because the lens cover is white, the bulb itself needs to be amber, like a lot of American cars of this vintage. No amber rear turn signals. So double filament in the rear. The bright one controls brake and tail, or brake and turn signal and hazard, and then the dim one controls tail lights exclusively. So this is the amber box, 360 degree. Now you might be wondering why you need a 360 degree throw, even though light only needs to shine out 180 degrees. Well, if the bulb throws out 360 degrees, then that would mean that some of that light is bouncing off the concave reflector plate behind the bulb, adding to the amount of total light. So that's actually a good thing. So this is the amber one. And the interesting thing about the amber is when you pull it out and look at it, it does kind of look amber. They're kind of the color of orange juice or something like that, and it looks like a standard back of a traditional analog 1157 incandescent bulb. Clearly this looks a little different, and we have these little orange doodads all around, which means the light's going to shine in that entire direction. Okay, that makes sense. Amber bulb, amber squares. But when we get to the red, you'll notice an interesting thing. These squares are not red. They're white, or they're clear with no red coloring, like we had on the amber one down here. All right, and let me put them side by side. So if you didn't know any better, you'd say this one's going to emit white light. That's what you'd think. But out of these little circles that you see inside the main circle, it will emit pure red light. And when I go to plug it in, you'll see what I mean. So that right there, that I'm pointing at, is the goal at hand. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug in one tail light and then test it and compare digital to analog, or LED to incandescent, and see the difference. And I would suspect that the LED lights blink on faster and blink off faster. We have the left blinker and the right blinker, and that's the regular white light. So we're going to unplug the regular white light incandescent, and I'll just put this over here where you can watch what I'm doing. Take it out before it gets too hot, and then there we go. And that's pure red. So now, does it blink a little faster? Oh, it sure does. Look how much ahead of the one on the left it is. Oh yeah, it's a huge difference. In my inability to contain my excitement, I ripped the side marker out. So we're gonna have to put that back in. All right, now let's check it out. So much faster than the other one. They're like totally out of sequence with each other. They phase in and out between blinking at the same time and blinking opposite. You can see that the light emittance is a little brighter on the right, and I think more absolute. It's a more absolute light, and I think the light output is brighter. I think taillights is even more telling. Look at the right side, and then look at the left. Now compare them side by side if we get down here. So incandescent on the left, digital LED on the right. I think the right side is definitely brighter. So now the rest of this just proceeds to be academic. We did the right side. What we did to the right side, we'll do to the left. So with them both installed, let's first turn on the dims and then turn on the tail lights, and then turn on the emergency flashers, and then we'll go turn signals left and right. So, first off, dim lamps, looking good. Looking real good. Turn on the four-ways. And with the tails, not too bad. It's a little brighter. Okay, I'll tell you what. I know what the problem is. Dim it down because it looks like it's lit all the time. There we go. Now when we dim it down, we can see the distinction between the dimmer tail light and the brighter signals. Now, look back up and see how that looks at a distance. If the camera's kind of a fooler and makes red look amber. Coloration's a little off. Yeah. There we go. You see, when it's overexposed, you cannot see the blinking because the tail, to the camera, the tail lights look as bright as the blinkers. But if I tone it down, now you can see the distinction. If you get at it from an angle, you get the idea. Leave the blinkers on, but turn the tail lights off. So if the taillights are off and it's just blinking from dark to bright, then it sticks out like a sore thumb. If we turn it all the way down, it looks a little redder. In fact, the bright spot in the center of the lens is the bulb. So now we're going to try turn signals. Turn signal left, it blinks slower than the four-ways because the flasher is slower. Hi, buddy. How are you? I just installed new LED taillights. See that? They're so much better. Yeah. How are you? Come here. Come here. Come here. All right, so that works. Now what we want to do is turn on the tail lamps. And you know what? I can't really tell the difference. It's a lot harder to make a distinction when the tail lights are on. Here we go. Rather than taking them out from behind, these get unscrewed and taken out from the front. And again, these are white lenses, so that's why the bulbs absolutely, positively have to be amber. So we'll install them and see what happens. Okay, so there's the left side with the diffuser lens on. Turn it down. There it is with it off. So just the bulb. There we go. There's the dim one. Ooh, ow, that's hot. Okay, never mind. Damn bulb gets hot fast. I'm gonna use a paper towel. Come on, you. We're going to put in the cool amber. Here we go. You see those little yellow things? That's right. Oh my goodness. That is bright. Well, here we go with them installed. And you can see that they blink a lot faster. The website said that LEDs use so little power that it will fool the car into thinking the light's burned out, thus making it flash faster. Look how much faster it is than the one on the car's left, our right. Yeah. The thing that gets me though is when you just put on the dims, the parking lamps, the LED is way too bright. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, like, I don't think it's supposed to be that bright as a dim. That's crazy bright. The dim is wired to the bright, and the bright wire is wired to the dim. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Problem is you can't tell because LEDs have light emitting squares. It doesn't have a large filament and a small filament like a conventional bulb. So I can't see what's lighting up and what isn't. Geez, so I have the diffuser lens back on the right hand, the passenger side turn signal. Oh my goodness. That's so much brighter than the one on the left. I could drive with these like fog lights. Look how much it lights up the garage. And that's the parking lamps. That's hilarious. I like it. I mean, I don't know if it's legal or not. Let's try a hazard lamp blink sequence again. Usually the hazard lights blink fast. These have slowed it down. Probably because the one on the right of your screen is incandescent and the one on the left is digital. Let's move over here. The side marker still alternately blinks with the dim lights turned on. We got a bit of a problem here because it thinks that it's so bright it thinks those are turn signals. Left one, the incandescent, is fine. Right one, it's fine so long as the parking lights or headlights are off. But as soon as I open the lamps, look at the indicator. Oh, I don't have the light on it. You can see it's lit. It thinks that the turn signal is on. You can see it's giving a steady tone because it thinks it's already on. Hazards are on a different circuit, so they blink fine. That is not good. Means the wiring needs to be reversed. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I had to take the amber LEDs out. They weren't going to work because what they did was whatever power draw they have, they made these little side markers on both the front and the back glow very dim, and I could tell that was a power draw, and possibly drawing that much power wasn't good for the car. But aside from that, it created the issue of freezing the turn signals because basically, even though the back lights work correctly, the front lights, the dim parking lamps activated the bright part of the bulb, and it thought that the turn signals or the hazards were frozen in place, and that's not how it's supposed to work. So if these are going to work correctly, I think we have to follow the advice of the website and reverse the wires. And since I can't reach around the bumper and see them or feel them, we'll worry about that later. But at least the red ones work. 2 out of 4 is not bad. Okay, that's it for tonight. As it turned out, I kept the red LED lights in the back. They made for great brake lights so people wouldn't run into the back of me, and that was a big plus. And I boxed the front amber lights in the hopes that I would either get a ballast to get them to work properly or the car rewired. Or as it turned out, when I sold the car, I packed them in a box of items I passed along to the buyer at no extra charge. I did wind up selling the car in November of that year, 5 months later. At the time I sold the car, I included the unused amber bulbs for the front, my feeling being that if he could find a way to make them work, more power to him. And of course I left the red LEDs in the rear so he could benefit from the brighter lights as well, especially when braking in the daytime. So that's it. I'm John O'Flaherty, the B3 Burner, and you have yourself a good day.